Simple job, but it often puts us at risk. As we know, some of our colleagues have even paid the ultimate price for exposing the truth. In fact, just in the past year, 34 journalists have been killed in the field and over 250 jailed. And so on Wednesday, a ceremony in New York honoured journalists around the world who faced intimidation, harassment and imprisonment. Gabriel Elizondo was there.
Which I have not done in months.
An elaborate evening gala, but for a cause, the fight for press freedom. The Committee to Protect Journalists, one of the top organizations that defends the rights of journalists to work without fear of reprisal, honoring several reporters for their courage. One is Afra Nasser, a Yemeni reporter and blogger who now lives in exile in Sweden after receiving death threats in her native country for her critical reporting of the government. Yemen remains one of the most difficult places in the world for journalists to report from, and Nasser says it's about more than herself.
A word to me, it's not only for me. It goes to all Yemeni journalists who are behind bars, who refuse to be part of a propaganda system. It's also to pay tribute to all journalists who are, despite all the obstacles, are trying to put Yemen in the media agenda.
Nasser was one of several people honored with a Press Freedom Award, but there were others as well. There are also journalists being recognized from Cameroon, Thailand, and Mexico. A reminder that threats against journalists exist in all corners of the world, now more than ever. According to the latest data, 34 journalists have been killed while doing their jobs so far this year. And last year, 259 journalists were imprisoned. And today, 55 journalists remain missing. Al Jazeera journalist Mahmoud Hussein was detained in Egypt when he arrived in Cairo on a personal visit to see family. He's been held for over 330 days for what the government has called spreading false news. Al Jazeera categorically denies the charges against him and demands his immediate release.
Egypt is one of the saddest stories in the world right now because before the uprising in 2011, there were no journalists in jail, or maybe there was one, from year to year. There were no journalists murdered. Now it is the third leading jailer of journalists.
On an evening when people who care deeply about press freedom spoke out to say the time has come to recognize journalism is not a crime. Gabriel Elizondo, Al Jazeera, New York.
And in just a few hours,